Hello, hello, hello. So, the energies surrounding the karmic, yeah? The world is a cycle, yes. Domes are indeed eclipsing. All now is, being seen. So, the karmic is in a, what you call, a karmic situation that, they've created for themselves. So, all the, the witchcraft and, the sorcery, manipulating, or seemingly manipulating, these masculine energies. And, for some of you, the feminine energies, it's ricocheting. Because the world is a cycle. Now, the karmic is in a very, is in that moon frequency, lonely, emotional. There's that lovers in reverse frequency, unrequited love. Now, all the things that were done to the divine feminine, the divine masculine, are now being made manifested, upon, these karmics. They're now being left alone, deserted, abandoned. No, they're receiving nothing, no money, no love, no communication from these, masculines or feminines. That 401's energy as well, these karmics, they're, some of them are chained to these divine masculines or divine feminines. This could be, because some of them went out and got, married to, some of these masculines, and feminines, and, have bound themselves to the devil. I tell people, spell magic, they don't work on, the good folks. Yeah? When you see people happy and, in relationships, don't think that, breaking these connections with, or interrupting these connections with sorcery or witchcraft, black magic, obia, voodoo, whatever you want to call them, seances, these only work on people who are good to begin with. And these karmics, I don't know, they may be wondering, how. But you see, what's happening with, a lot of these karmics, not all, but some of them, it's pretty much you lose them how you got them. So, for some of these karmics, someone, who's, who dabbles in, black magic and sorcery, or, have, taken away, if you want to terms it as that, these masculines or feminines, via same route. And, they're they're always gonna be bigger devils out there. And for a lot of these karmics, this is the case. And a lot of them are out of money, out of you know financial resources that they've been using to seemingly chain these feminines, and or masculines. For some of them, they were just being used by these masculines, you know or feminines to hurt or break you, break the divine masculine, or break the divine feminine. And with the divine masculine slash divine feminine focusing on themselves, okay, you know detaching from the whole drama and all of that. And I'm getting to begin with, you know these good folks, these good divine masculines, these divine masculines and divine feminines weren't even a part of the drama to begin with. But the mere fact that they were still, in relationships with these toxic masculines or feminines, you know, you know, fueled the drama. And, because, these divine masculines, these divine feminines have detached from these connections, the connections that were, it's pretty much put a damper on the whole third party situations. And, a lot of these karmics, other than the ones who have been outplayed by, their own, game, a lot of these other karmics are now realizing that they were just pawns being used by masculines and feminines to break or to manipulate the divine masculines, you know and the divine feminines. And that's the frequency surrounding the karmics right now. They're now realizing that it was never about them. It was all about, and always was about, the divine feminine, the divine masculine. And these karmics are realizing they were all just tools, pawns, being played in a very, sadistic, narcissistic, pathetic game. And life is no joke, it's no game. It's not for play. It's fun and it's, exciting, but it's no play. And, those are the energies surrounding the karmics now. They're having their bitch wake up calls, in regards to, listen, never try to, attain something by the wrong means. Don't see people in happy relationships and try to, destroy them connections because you want them connections for yourself. It's not really about these individuals. It's about, being at a certain frequency, being, exuding a certain energy that pulls in, beautiful connections. Yeah. And what the enemies meant for evil, most die allowed for good. So for a wicked man, a harlot, is his, reward, and vice versa for a wicked woman, a whorish man, a harlot, in other words, is a, reward for her. And Most High has, freed the divine masculines, the divine feminines um, from these karmic, situations, divine feminines, divine masculines, are, they're the emperors, the empresses, okay? I'm not, getting, to be honest, like them other intuitives, that the divine masculine is always in the wrong, or, the divine feminine is always in the right. Though I did make a statement that, the divine masculines, they strongly bear that Aries frequency, and in some area or aspect of their natal charts. And the divine feminines, they strongly bear that Libra frequency, at some placement in their charts, right? Because one is the emperor and one is the empress. Okay? But you have other masculines, other feminines who are not divine. They're not divine counterparts, in other words. Okay? They're just, karmics, masculine and feminine energies, you know, um, who, at some point or another have, attached themselves to our frequencies to deplete us and to distract us from our main goal or life purposes. And it is so much more, than the superficial that we see with the human eyes. There's a grand spiritual purpose for the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Now we're going to have true divine masculines, okay? We're going to have divine masculines now, the emperor, and the divine feminines now, the empresses, coming into union. Okay, so a lot of these, who, we thought were, divine masculines truly weren't, okay? There's something about that word divine. It is connected and linked to divinity, purity, authenticity, balance, justice. And though, the divine masculine is, strongly that Aries frequency, you must understand that Aries is on that same, is attached to that same wavelength of Libra, okay, and Libra vice versa. So they are, a whole together. None is negative, none is positive, because one is fire, one is air, and both are yin, okay, positive energies, okay. And now we're going to have, the true divine masculines coming into union with the true divine feminines. But, as for these karmics, okay, and, some of these karmics are, so-called masculines, some of you were with, and, so-called feminines that some of you were with. And, they, had karmics of their own, feminine energies, masculine energies that they brought into the connection that you had with them, connections that weren't meant to last to begin with, to distract you, to distract us from our life purpose, or, most important life purposes, transcending to higher frequencies, leading the human race, to ascension. Okay, like that 144,000 saints, okay, elders, judges, sent upon, this earth to teach humanity in some way, shape, or form. So these karmics, yeah, whether they're masculines or feminines, they're getting their just reward, from these, other masculines, and feminines, in regards to how they're now being dealt with. Okay, they're now being, served the same, sadistic, chauvinistic, and cruel meals that us divine feminines and masculines were served, and it is karma. Okay, so karma is a bitch, they say, but it's a bitch to those who are already bitches. You feel what I'm saying? Karma is balance, that Libran frequency, the skills of balance, and whatever you exude comes eventually right back at you. And when it comes back, in greater proportions, greater folds, okay? 7 folds, 100 folds, 111 folds. And that's how it is, because it's to teach people. Listen, it's like a prison sentence, okay? It's to teach people that, listen, you don't just go around and make the rules up as you go. It's pretty much, you treating everyone as you would have them treat you. And, anyone who loves themselves, would not want, to be treated unfairly, unjustly, and therefore, karma is telling us that we should not treat others unfairly or unjustly. It's all for one and one for all. So that's it, for the karmic, okay? A lot of them don't want to hear this message, but I'm gonna now, start doing a lot more karmic energies, out there. I'm not gonna be reading up, divine feminine's energies, divine masculine's energies, just pretty much the karmics, because they like listening in, and they like, knowing what's gonna happen next, and or what's happening in the divine ones' lives, okay? The divine masculines and the divine feminines, so they can, get to work and get busy, with their, gimmicks again and again. But I'm seeing where, that Eight of Swords, that Eight of Wands frequency people, along with Eight of Swords working together, it's, things have reached their limit, and now everything is just suddenly coming to an end. No more. No more of that, toxic cycle of, trying to hold, the divine masculines down, and, toxicity, or the divine feminines down, in toxicity's drama, and, no more distractions, okay? So, yeah, I'm gonna be like reading these people's fates and destinies, so they see what's coming in for them. Some of them are already, facing karma. For those who have not yet, it is coming. I see divorce for a lot of them, who went off and, suddenly got married to some of these masculines, to some of these feminines. I see some of these, masculines and feminines, running off, without even, signing divorce papers. So a lot of these masculines and feminines are going to be left stuck, okay, in marriages that aren't marriages, okay, because the other quote unquote counterpart is just going to up and disappear, okay, and pretty much a lot of these masculines and feminines, they don't really care, because they never reverent, the institution of marriage to begin with. That's why I say, if someone is not willing to marry you, you just detach from them, because chances are, that's their judgment. They're facing their judgment. They're most likely married to some karmic out there. So them ones coming your way, just wanting to shack up and all of that, chances are they're already in, marital unions that they pretty much cannot get away from, because, these karmics, they just took off, and it's to pretty much spite them, because now they're realizing that it was all about the divine feminine, it was all about the divine masculine, and, it's their way of retaliating, okay, by leaving these, masculines and feminines stuck in, unions that, aren't really unions, if you get what I mean. So it's hilarious, people, but that's what they get. Karma is a bitch to those who are bitches. Okay, namaste to my soul tribe, soul family. Mwah. I know a lot of you divine masculines and divine feminines, are happy to hear all that I just said. Yes, I know I'm happy, because I love when justice is served. Namaste.